Hasidic man struck two black children, killing one. It caused an uproar last night, but worse tonight. Tim Minton is here now to show us what happened.
Susan, it was an explosion of frustration and passion. Frustration over a justice system many in Crown Heights believe doesn't work. Passion not to take it anymore. The violence started at dusk. Dozens of demonstrators vented their anger with bottles and rocks that kept police and residents running and ducking. The area's latest flare-up followed a fatal accident last night that left 7-year-old Gavin Cato dead and his 7-year-old cousin seriously injured. A car driven by a Hasidic man went out of control, jumped a curb, eventually pinned the children against a wall. Residents were angered because the driver was questioned, but so far not charged with any crime. And because the more seriously hurt children were apparently ignored by Hasidic private ambulance volunteers who arrived ahead of a city ambulance crew.
Their medical attention was not the same medical attention that the Jewish gentleman got. You understand what I'm saying? Okay. They helped him before they helped the children. And the children were the victims, not him.
Hasidic residents, meanwhile, were angered by what they said was the revenge killing later of a Jewish man.
What was an accident which other people used as an excuse to murder one member of our community 2 hours later.
Whatever the truth, historic animosity between ethnic groups in Crown Heights appears to have overcome a day of diplomacy among community leaders.
One of the reasons we had this meeting is for people to tell us what their concerns are, what are some of the problems in the community. The reason that we're going to continue to meet, bring community leaders together, is to begin to address some of these perceptions that are out there.
But tonight on the streets, some again let their throwing and punching arms do the talking. 12 cops were hurt, and according to police, Eyewitness News reporter Jim Dolan, here accosted by the man with the bike, was the worst hurt victim of the night. Kings County Hospital lists Jim Dolan tonight in stable condition. He's awaiting tests. Only one police officer remains in the hospital after getting hit in the face with a bottle. And at this hour in Crown Heights
last night.
The trouble began when an Hasidic driver struck and killed a young black child. Channel 2's Ren Scott reports.
For the second night in a row, the Crown Heights section of Brooklyn is in chaos. Hundreds of black teenagers are running through the streets, throwing rocks and bottles at police officers, attacking and flipping police cars, and setting fires. So far, at least 6 police officers have been injured, and dozens of people have been arrested, and there is no peace in sight. The violence stems from an accident here last night in which a car driven by a Hasidic man jumped a curb and struck 2 young black children, both 7 years old. One of the children died, the other is in critical condition. And tensions were heightened by reports from many people on the scene that the Hasidic ambulance company that arrived ignored the 2 black children lying on the ground to help the Hasidic driver.
They didn't take care of the children. They leave the children on the ground and take care of the drivers and the passengers from the car.
Almost immediately after the accident, violence broke out. Several blocks from the scene, a Hasidic man was brutally stabbed to death. Tonight, representatives of the Hasidic ambulance company involved say the charges are completely false. They say their driver was only following orders by police officers who saw trouble brewing.
He had looked in his mirror and seen 3 other emergency service buses, paramedic units arriving at the scene at the same time. He was then instructed by the police officer at the scene to take your people because they're being beat up, rescue them in the ambulance.
This afternoon, Deputy Mayor Bill Lynch met with black and Jewish leaders to try to resolve the problems in the community, but had no substantial progress to report. So the violence continues for one more night, and there's no easy solution in view. Tonight, the meetings between Jewish and black leaders continue, and members of the Human Rights Commission are out in the area trying to calm things down. But right now, this is a situation that's too big for any one group to control. In the Crown Heights section of Brooklyn, I'm Ren Scott, Channel 2 News.
Tonight, this has been a night of chaos in Crown Heights, a community that has had 3 days of racial violence. Tonight, 8 police officers were hurt by shotgun pellets fired by protesters. In all, 43 officers and at least 20 civilians were hurt in tonight's clashes, and 27 people have been arrested. And now the mayor is asking the media to allow him to talk to the people of New York, and especially to those in Crown Heights, to try to calm things down. Earlier tonight, protesters pulled a cab driver out of his cab and then set the car on fire. It's all because of a traffic accident Monday night that turned Jews and blacks against each other, and the confrontation has gone on for 3 days. Kathy Wolf is here now to show us more of what's happened tonight.
Well, Susan, Mayor Dinkins did his best to show his concern for the problems in Crown Heights tonight, but the situation is still volatile, and his appearance in Crown Heights didn't seem to help. He began by speaking to a group of young people at PS 167 on Eastern Parkway, just blocks from where the trouble began. They were high schoolers, student leaders, and Mayor Dinkins met with them to find out how to calm tension in Crown Heights, and also to reassure them that he cares.
I don't have to be here. I could sit the police commissioner and 4 deputy mayors. I could sit at City Hall or Gracie Mansion. I'm here because I care.
It all started Monday when Angela and Gavin Cato were hit by a car. The driver, an Hasidic Jew, was not badly injured, but one child died. The other is in critical condition. The private ambulance service Hatzalah took the Jewish driver and passengers. EMS tended to the children. Tonight, Police Commissioner Lee Brown tried to dispel the rumor that the Jewish ambulance ignored the dying children.
At the time the driver was taken away by the private ambulance, we had city paramedics there taking care of the children.
But people in Crown Heights didn't know that Monday night, and in revenge, 29-year-old Yankel Rosenbaum was stabbed to death. The funeral for the Jewish student was held today. 2 people have been charged with his murder. Tonight, the students wanted to know why the driver who hit the children was not arrested. The mayor explained that the evidence is being presented to a grand jury.
I'm not able to go out there and say, this man who's driving this car is going to be arrested tonight. I can't say that.
As the mayor spoke, the chaos continued outside. At least 15 officers were injured in skirmishes in the streets. The windows of a police van were smashed. The mayor was going to walk the streets, but in the end decided against it. Instead, he spoke to a crowd from the school steps and was booed. After the mayor left, I spoke to some teenagers who live in Crown Heights.
If they'd arrested a Jew that did it for like that, then everybody would have been happy.
As the mayor and the police commissioner pointed out, the only thing the Hasidic driver can be charged with at the moment is running the red light. A grand jury will have to decide if any further charges are warranted. Bill and Susan.
Thank you, Kathy, very much. The volatile situation in Crown Heights is prompting a dramatic response from the mayor. Within the hour, Mayor Dinkins has asked New York City's TV stations for airtime to try to bring calm to that community. To that end, Sarah Wallace joins us live now with the mayor. Sarah?
Well, Bill, I'm standing with the mayor, who is on his way to Kings County Hospital to visit those injured officers. You saw that videotape. It's very dramatic tape tonight of yourself being booed, the mayor of the city. I think a lot of people are wondering, can you...
I didn't need to see the tape. I was there. I think what's important to understand is that emotions run very high. A child is dead. Some people with misinformation, as you correctly point out, believe that it was caused by intent, and that the children injured, the one who died and the other, did not receive attention while others did. And I think they now begin to know the facts. For a while tonight, or this afternoon, at the school, the rumor circulated that young Angela had died. She has not. She's in stable condition. I went out there to demonstrate my concern for the community, not just for the African-American community, but for the total community.
But you were booed, and I think a lot of people are wondering, what extraordinary measures are you going to take to ensure that there's control in this city? A lot of people are worried.
Let us be clear. The problem now is not whether or not they applaud the mayor or boo the mayor. What's important is that they understand that there is concern, and that they understand that under no circumstances am I going to tolerate lawlessness and violence. Under no circumstances. I understand you want to know about outside agitators. There has been the suggestion by many that some of the persons there that are instigating and causing or perhaps doing the throwing, but suggesting that others throw rocks and bottles are outside agitators. As I went to visit the Cato family, bottles were thrown as I entered the building, came perilously close to striking me. That's not acceptable behavior, no matter what the provocation, and we're not going to tolerate it.
And what are you going to do about that?
I'm going to see the police commissioner now as I go out to Kings County Hospital to visit the injured officers. And the police commissioner is at the 7-1 precinct. He'll meet me at the hospital, wherein he and I will have a brief meeting with the Deputy Mayor Milton Mullen about the fashion in which we ought to address some of these kinds of problems.
And you believe that there can be control maintained in this city?
There is no question that control can be maintained in this city. Absolutely.
All right, Mayor Dinkins, thank you. Mayor Dinkins on his way to Kings County Hospital to visit those injured officers. We're live from Gracie Mansion. I'm Sarah Wallace, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Thank you, Sarah and Mr. Mayor. And the story continues.
And we'll shift gears in a minute.